Hey, what's going on everyone? VegetarianZombee here. Welcome to a new tutorial on, that's right, Far Cry 5. But not just Far Cry 5, Far Cry 5 Arcade Mode. This is a really cool option that was added to Far Cry 5. It allows us to make our own game modes. Well, I should say it makes us to make our own maps with lots of craziness. And we can play it co-op or we can even play it deathmatch. So it's just really a cool feature to be added. Okay, but before we get started, if you're new to this channel and you like what you see, just hit that like button. And of course, if you want to see more tutorials like this, feel free to subscribe as well. I'd certainly appreciate the support. All right, guys, let's dive into this. Here, we'll switch over to arcade here. Now, I haven't even tried the single player mode yet. I've just been playing around with the arcade mode. Now, you can see here, we can open up the arcade. You can see if I click this, I gotta access the campaign first. All right, whatever. We're gonna enter the arcade editor. Now you can enter the editor through Steam itself as well, but we'll just do it from here. So you can see here we have an options to create a new solo co-op map, a new multiplayer map, or to edit an existing map. We're gonna start off with just a solo and co-op map. So I'm gonna click this. And now you'll see we have some initial options. We have different types of game modes. And the thing to understand is that these game modes can be changed once you're editing, so you're not locked into your choice. Alright, the first choice you have is Assault. Basically, Assault means you gotta kill everyone in the map, all the AI. The next one here is Outpost, and the big difference here, it's like Assault, you gotta kill everyone, but you're also dealing with Outpost as well, where the AI can set off the alarms and so forth. Next, we have Journey. In the Journey game mode, basically, the player has to get from one part of the map to another part of the map. You can kind of think of this almost like Left 4 Dead. You're trying to get them to the other end of the map, and you're going to throw lots of things at them to ruin their day. Bounty Hunt is like the assassination missions in Far Cry 4. Basically, you have to eliminate a specific enemy, or you can eliminate multiple enemies as well. And that's all we have here. Now, you can also see we have an empty map. We can also choose a clear forest, a rocky island, an outer world. We're going to choose empty map for this. With that selected, let's get going. I'm going to click the Start Arcade Editor. Now, you'll see here, it'll close the main game. It's all right. We're not going to go back to it, at least not right now. Okay, here we are in our main editor here, and you can see there's a whole lot of nothing, which is okay. Now, the way we can move around is by using the WASD key. So here you can see here, and I'm actually moving really slow. And this can be good when you have lots of geometry in the scene, but oftentimes you want to move faster, so you just hold the Shift key. Now, if you're coming from a background such as like Unity, you're going to be right at home in here. Okay, so we're moving around, but I need to look around. So to do that, I'm going to hold down the right mouse button. And as you can see now, I can do my look. Otherwise, I move the cursor here. So here we go, and as you can see, I can go up, I can go down, and basically look all around. Now, you can also pan, and this is by holding the third mouse button here, and now I can move my mouse left, I'm moving my mouse right. Now look what happens when I move my mouse forward. You'll see we go up, and if I move it down, we're going down. Now, you may have noticed just right here, when I go down underneath here, the world just disappears, and you can see it up here. You can't really see it. And this is just the way how graphics programs work. Here, we'll go back up here. What they'll do is just show one face of the geometry. They won't show the back face because there's no reason to see it. And that is an optimization trick. So when you go down here and you lose your world, you can look up. Chances are you'll see all your objects, but if you get trouble or you get lost, just race towards the sun, and then you can look back down and you'll see the world again. Yay! All right, so this is our basic world. What we need to do is get started in it. So we need to add a spawn point. Now, a spawn point is a basic object. Now, you'll see up here, we got tons of different options here. I'll briefly cover some of these. In later videos, we can go into these in more depth. But what we're looking for is an object. So you can see this thing here. It says objects. It has a hotkey of 5. Whenever working with 3D programs, you're going to want to know the hotkeys. It just saves you time. So I'm just going to press 5 here. And you'll see like we have all these things that we can add to our game. You'll see that we have things like Far Cry 5. We have things from Far Cry 4. We even have things from Far Cry Primal, which is super cool. All right, what we're looking for is a spawn point. And we already have our game mode objects selected. And I'll scroll down here and you'll see we have our spawn point here. Now I can also increase this to give it more room. I'm going to select that And now I'm just going to put it. Now you'll see it just snaps to the map, and this is super cool. So right away, I'll just do that. And look at that. We got our spawn point. Awesome. Let's try our game. And we do that by hitting this play button right here. Now you'll see this has not passed the validation tests. Let's see what's going on. It says we need at least one enemy because we're using an assault mode. And it says the snapshot has been taken. Okay, so let's add that enemy here. Again, the way we do this is, unlike using objects, we're going to click AI management. So I'm just going to click this button here. And we're going to add our AI. So I'm going to scroll down here, and you can see we already have these various enemies here. So I'm just going to click you, and I'll put you. And it's very similar to how we placed our spawn point. All right, that's it. Now let's try our game. Now you can see when our game starts up, we can choose our loadout. I'll just choose the assault loadout. Look at that! We got an enemy! Woo! Pretty cool. This looks like a total Unity asset flip. All right, let's take care of this guy. Oh my god, you're dead. Troublemaker. You can see objective complete, all enemies eliminated. So we'll leave that. Now, oftentimes you're going to want to explore your map and not have to deal with these idiots. And you can actually hit this button here, the one with the game controller. Let's try that out. Now you'll see, he sees me, but he's not doing anything. Hey man, my god, you're ugly. Bam, you're dead. So, and you can kill all the people, but this is basically a great way to go around your map, see where things are working, see things where aren't working. All right, let's get back out of there. I'm going to go back to the arcade editor. You'll see that there's a manual here. I suggest you definitely check that out. The manual, unfortunately, is very sparse. Okay, so here we are back. We got our one person, and we have our one enemy. So, oftentimes when you play something, you're not going to be doing it. Yeah, it's not going to be perfect. You're going to need to move things. So you can select your spawn point. In this case, you'll notice that we have these three arrows here. And this is typical in 3D programs. They represent the axis that you want to move this object on. So the Z, which is often the blue, we can just hold that and move him up. And we can also bring it back down like so. And you can see we can move on the red, and we can move on the green. Now you'll notice that there's these squares down here. These are a way to move on two axes, like so. So you're basically moving on, I believe, this red and blue axis. And there's also one that basically you just move on the square, and it helps you do placement. You're also going to want to, actually, let's hit Control Z here. We'll get him back on the ground. You're also going to want to maybe rotate this guy. And you can see right up here we have our rotate button. So we'll click that, and we have this rotate here. And you can see we can move him like so. We can also do the same with our enemy as well. Now, instead of him facing away from us, we'll click him here. We'll rotate. Now he's facing our spawn. Let's try it out. There he goes. He's not... And he's shooting us! But he's dead. Okay, so at this point, you have a spawn point, and we have an enemy. Now we're going to want to add some things in between us. And again, we do this by adding objects. So we can click on this objects here, and let's check around. Let's see what we got. We got down here, we got structures as well. We can scroll down. Actually, let's make some room here. You can see we got some military things. We got an arsenal. So we can take that, and we can drag that here. And look at that! What do you know? And we got a place that we can run around in. Now we can take this guy here. We can drag him in here. And look at that. Now what you could do is add weapons and so forth. You can add other game objects. We can select our objects again. And you can see we have weapons and ammo. We got a 50 cal here. Let's take this, and we'll put this right here. Look at that. All right, let's try this out. Oh my god. So we'll take that. Now we're going to be all stealthy-like. Whoop, whoop. Boom. Now, I don't know exactly what Ubisoft plans when it comes to actually making our own models and importing it. Probably not. You're probably going to have to be doing everything through the Ubisoft store. But, I mean, with all the things that you can do, you have a lot of creativity here. Like, one thing you have down here are generic shapes. So we can click on that. We'll scroll down here, and you can see all the various shapes that you can use to build various structures out of. And if you've seen anything with Planet Coaster, the sky is the limit. Okay, at this point, our world is actually kind of boring. I know, surprise, surprise. We're going to want to add a little more things in here, maybe some things to make it just visually interesting. And you can see here this tree with a plus sign here. If we click that, we can add various types of vegetation. Now, right away, we have a brush, but before we can use this brush, we need to add what vegetation we're working with. To do that, you just click the Add button. And you can see here, we have all, right here, these are all various types of grasses, I believe. We could do trees. Here, let's do some hemlocks. So we'll select that, and you'll see this OK button here. And now we have our hemlocks. And right away, you'll see this circular area. This is where the trees will go. If you hold down the Shift key and press the left mouse button and move your mouse forward, you can see you can increase it, or moving it back will decrease it. Let's just put it right here, and now let's add some trees. Look at that! Oh my god! That's a little too much. Let's spread these out. Oh my god! And you can have lots of fun. Okay, next we can dive into our road. So we can select this road button here. And again, you need to choose what kind of road you're going to want. So I'm just going to click this Add button. Again, you can see we have lots of things to choose from. Let's choose, let's say, a gravel road here. So I'm going to choose that. I'm going to select the OK here. Now I'm going to choose my road. Okay. At this point, I'm going to choose the brush I'm going to add my road with. You can see here, this brush with the plus sign. Just click on that there. And then you can click where you want the road to start. And we'll just add it here. And that's one section of the road. Now I'm going to click this yellow icon here. That's another section. And we're just going to move around. And you can see here by selecting on a point, I can alter these things as well. And I can add another point here and give myself a little fine grade controlling as well. It's really cool. Okay, this next button here allows you to control the environment. You can set the time of day. Here, if we look up at the sky, you can see here as I play around with the slider, it can go to dark and so forth. And you have lights that you can add also to light the scene. And you can set the various different kinds of cloud cover as well, or skies, I should say. And we can add some clouds like that. Give this game a little life, you may see. And we can add some cloud. Let's add some cloudy. Actually, that's a little too cloudy. A few clouds like that. Here we go. This is kind of looking like a real world, sort of. Now, the fun part is when we start getting into terrain deformation. And by terrain, we can, right now, we're working on a flat area. Let's go and select here. And you can see this thing is a bump. And again, you can play around with all these sliders to see exactly how you'd want this to work. I'm going to make this a little bit larger. There we go. We'll raise this. By selecting, holding the left mouse button and moving forward, you can see we've totally made this. It's like the landscape is pregnant. Let's move that down a little bit. And it's good to do this because you don't want the terrain to be uniform and flat, because that's not how terrain actually is. And you can see the trees will rise along with it. Now you'll notice this one right here, you can raise or lower. So again, it kind of works the same way. We can do fine controls here. We can like add, say like this is like a rocky outcropping here. And I did not mean, oh no! The undo is really helpful there. Let's choose this. Now if you want to lower the terrain, you'll see the height here is set to 5. You can set it to a negative number as well. And that's a little too much. Here, let's make this -2. There we go. This adds a little bit of organicness to the world. But of course, You can see the tool. I'm just cutting and cutting like that. You're going to want to smooth things out as well. You can also play around with the ramps, the flattening. You can add noise. I highly suggest you just play around with these and basically have a lot of fun. We can also add some water as well. You can see this right here, this water button. Now, initially this seems confusing. So if I select that, I'm going to choose my lake and I add the lake right here. You can see if I just drop it here, you can kind of see the waves right here, but that's because it's on a flat surface. If I select the lake again and I move it over one of these things here, now you can really see how the water just fills up those holes. So we can select that. In fact, let's make this a little, make this go down a little bit deeper. And then what we can do here is we can raise the height maps here. So it's not such a square cutoff there. Here we go. Okay, let's try this out one more time. I don't know exactly where I spawned, but that sounds good. Look at this. So you can see here, it feels we're not like in this flat world anymore. There's the base over here. Pretty cool. And now we got some real off-roading right here. And look at this. We have our lake as well. Now, if I dive in the water, we have this pure underwater area that we can explore as well. That's like so cool that now you can design your world above ground. Did I just see a fish fly by? You can design your world above ground and below ground and have just a ton of fun doing it. Now, some of you may be saying, well, this is all great and everything, but it looks really artificial. I mean, there's not a lot of checkerboards in real life. All right, so we can fix that as well. So we'll close that out here. We'll go back to our editor. And we can actually paint textures on things. We do this by way of the texture painter. And you can see we have this palette here, this paintbrush here. And right now we have nothing selected. So like before, we want to select our texture. And Far Cry 5 comes with a whole bunch of different textures that we can use. Let's use, say, some light grass like so. So I'm going to select that. And let's pull back so that we can see here. And again, we have all these various tools that we can select. And we just simply select our texture here. And then we hold down your left mouse button and just paint away. And right away, this is kind of looking a little very uniform. Again, not very organic or not something you'll see, whoops, in real life, so to speak. Like, for instance, take these rocks here. They're going to have rocks sticking out. You're not going to have grass covering every surface. So again, let's choose our texture area here. I'm going to select add, and I'm going to choose, let's scroll down here. What Ubisoft needs to do is add some search features in here as well. Hopefully we'll see that soon. I'm going to select this rock one, click OK. I'm going to select rock here and move, let's make this radius small. This is still very big. And now let's go over the top here. And now we can sort of coat these here. And you can see I'm painting one texture on top of another. And we'll make this here a little more standing out. There's not much moss or rock. We want it to be bare stone like so. Whoa. Here we go. We'll decrease the size of that. And then what we can do also, we can choose add. Let's find some soil here. I'm going to choose OK. And we can just sort of basically just paint a little of this here. Again, you can have lots of fun creativity is really just go nuts. One last time, let's give this a play. Now we're thankfully we're back here. We got grass in our building. All right, makes sense to me. Let's run through here. And you can see here, it's looking much better. Again, you're going to want to spend a lot of time really just making things, working things with the textures and just making it look good, basically. But you can see how easy it is to design this world. Now, one last thing before we close out. So far, we've been working with one enemy. Might be a good idea to add another one. So back here, one thing you should keep in mind, if you click on your AI, right now we're all working in waves. So you can see here, this is wave 1. Something I didn't explain as well as I should have. We're going to add another one, but this time let's add one in wave 2. And you'll see when we do that, we have a trigger. And this trigger indicates when we want wave 2 to start, when 75% are dead, when 1 has died. We'll say 75% is dead, and let's choose a different enemy. In fact, let's put this on show all. Okay, here's our type. We had follower. Let's choose chosen right here. So this chosen is going to be in wave 2. I'm going to select him. He's going to be here. And he looks kind of funky. And now if I come back up here, show wave 1, he disappears. And if I go show wave 2, he disappears, but he reappears. And let's try this out one last time. All right, as we move around here, there's our buddy. He's gone, and look at this guy appears. Oh my god. All right, and that is our simple game. So let's leave this. When you're done with your game, you may want to publish it, and you can do that up here, file. You can see map validate, you can see we have this publish, and that will publish to the Ubisoft servers. Now, I've published one map called Test, but I can't see it because I can't access arcade mode because I haven't played the campaign mode. We'll do that later. And when you do that, you can also alter your properties. One thing you may want to do is give this a thumbnail, and you basically do that here. Let's get right into this guy's face. Right here. Let's get really close. Like really close. There we go. And we'll capture that. There we go. And you can see here also I can change the objective as well. And then you simply go to publish map. And that will publish it to Ubisoft servers. Keep in mind that they are they will monitor them, and if you abuse their terms of service, your map will get pulled. All right, everyone, that is a basic tutorial on how to get started here with the map editor in Far Cry 5. If you liked it, feel free to leave a like, and if you want to see more, feel free to hit that sub button as well. I'd certainly appreciate the support. In a future video, we'll go into this AI deeper to talk about how to set up patrols, how we can work with animal AI, and so forth, and basically play around and have a lot of fun. All right, everyone, thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. See you then.